So get this.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know who Wilt Chamberlain is, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Wilt Chamberlain, he scored 100 points in a basketball game, right? He used to
Oh,
Yep.
average like 50 points a game. And
yeah,
that's some
I
shit
know.
that you have never heard of, right? 50
Yeah.
points a game, 60 points a game, getting 35 rebounds a game, all types of crazy
Yep.
numbers, right? But don't nobody call him the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nobody calls
Nope.
him the GOAT because he ain't did certain things. And so when Jay-Z and Beyonce is talking about certain awards, it's because they're building a legacy. And they know without certain awards, without their name in certain places, 100 years from now they might be overlooked. See, when people have build legacies, they looking towards the future. Like I want my name to be right there with whenever they talk about anything, I want my name to be up there, right? On the Mount Rushmore type thing, right?
Yeah.
So Wilt Chamberlain did all this stuff, and still we don't say he the GOAT. We always say Michael Jordan or LeBron James. And sometimes we might throw in Russell because he got like 11 championships, stuff like that. But we never talk about Wilt Chamberlain when he scored more points than Michael Jordan in the game, all types of things. So it's all like Jay-Z says, it's all subjective. But at some point, you have to know like it's certain things that they're just not going to give us. It's certain awards in certain categories that they're just not going to give us out of the kindness of their heart or
And
because we deserve it. Because they know like this award might put her above somebody else. Like so now when they look at Taylor Swift, they be like, oh, she got 4 of these album of the years. How many does Beyonce got? None. You know what I'm saying? Like they can always, do that. You know what I'm saying? And they know these awards to put them over the top. And they don't want to put us over the top. That's not going to do that without a fight. So that's why Jay-Z's going on saying what he's saying. And I go back to what other black people are saying, like, why y'all want these awards from these white platforms and this and that? Because we deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
it,
we all know we can go to BET Awards and get that. Okay,
mm-hmm.
that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I always look at Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It was two struggles, right? One wanted to fight, one didn't want to fight, right? So I know I can play this game. I know I can play that game. But now we want to play the game that's going to get everybody over the hurdle because everybody deserves it. And once we break certain barriers, you know what I'm saying? It's all about breaking barriers. I want to put my name on this because if I'm the first black to do this, then it's go catapult.
But yeah, I
And
also
to speak
Okay,
to
now I'm
Darwin's point,
curious.
the reason
So,
why the reason why they don't put Wilt up high like they probably supposed to is because, and they just put out a really great documentary on him. I think I want to say HBO did it or Showtime. He was told, every time we speak up, we're told that we're arrogant. See, Wilt
and
knew his
delusional.
value. He knew his value. And so when he would speak up when some of the other players were getting, sit downs for business deals or contract numbers were being increased, and he done scored these 100 points, he knew his value. To me, it's just so funny how when we speak up for ourselves, we're greedy, we're arrogant. But when they look at Taylor and this whole bubbly personality and all of this or that, oh, she's so humble and she deserves it. And it's just
He
like,
deserves all the things.
well, she's not fighting the same fight.
Right.
Because see, from the day Beyonce was born, whether she became a music artist or not, we all know on this panel that unspoken fight that we all have to fight. Whether it's you being the only supervisor of color on your job or being someone like Beyonce who's won the most Grammys, but ain't never been nominated or even won like album of the year. So it's just like you cannot compare the two because I don't care if it's 2024 or 1914. It's that unspoken fight that we're always having to constantly fight. See, Wilt Chamberlain knew his value, and because he spoke up about it, NBA officials and chairmen often referred to him as being, oh, he's arrogant.
It's just like Nicki Minaj. They keep on saying Nicki Minaj has more awards
wait.
than Beyonce.
So, is the
Okay,
issue
so
that
who cares
Beyonce?
about those awards that she has? No one cares about those awards Nicki Minaj has, like all those VMAs, and don't no one care about those awards. So that's why Nicki Minaj ain't over Beyonce. Because if that was the case about award, if it was just about how many awards, then Nicki Minaj would be up there, right? But no, she's not up there because no one cares about certain awards. So of course, the Grammys is a big deal when you're talking musically and when you talk about your name in certain places. Yes, it is. Whether you want to be like, oh, it's a white thing or not, it does not matter. Money don't.
So if
Money ain't
Beyonce
white or black.
stays the most
Money ain't white or
decorated,
black.
if Beyonce stays the most decorated, but she just never gets album of the
Well, she's
year,
not the
is
most
that?
decorated. She's
I
not
mean,
the
I'm
most
saying
decorated.
if she has the most Grammys out of everybody, and she stays with the most Grammys, and she just never gets album of the year, is that the problem that she has never gotten album
No,
of the year?
yeah, that like if this is the part that I think is being missed. He specifically stated the math is not mathing. What he meant by that is, how do you win all of these other awards for all of these individual songs? Right? Like you've won more awards for your individual songs that are on your albums than anybody else, but your album has never been album of the year. It doesn't make any sense, right? So like if you look at like, let's say Taylor Swift's album will win an album of the year. How come her songs weren't winning all those other categories and then
Exactly.
album of the year? That's what he was saying. That the math is not math. And like, why am I winning all of these awards for all of these individual songs that are on my album? You're saying they're the best. So you're saying that this song right here that was on my Lemonade album was better than the song that was on Taylor Swift's album multiple times in all these other categories. But then when it got to album of the year, all of a sudden her album is better than mine. That's what he's saying. He's saying,
but you also have to consider
the math is not math.
But you have to consider the category. She's won for music video. She's won for performance, things like that.
Right.
So, I mean, those are kind of like different. Wouldn't that constitute different?
Well, all of it still goes into album. You see what I'm saying? All of it is about the album. All of it.
It's like this. Would you?
But we like a Beyonce album every year. So is she supposed to win album of the year every year?
You said what?
We like a Beyonce album every year. Every year, if it's Lemonade, Renaissance, whatever the case is.
4 times. So I mean, why can't
Beyonce
Beyonce
win? She won more than Beyonce. If that's the same argument, Beyonce still won more than everybody.
Yes, she won 4. She won 4 times album of the year, even though Beyonce was winning
4 album of the year in a row. In the last 4 years, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has a total of, I want to say, in total Grammys, maybe 13, 14 Grammys, including the 14th or the 13th is album of the year.
Album of the year in a row. Now, y'all not, come on. Now, y'all know that's some bullshit.
So no, well, my whole thing is this, right? This is my whole thing. For one thing,
it ain't that cold.
This is my thing. I always err on the side of believe black people. Right, I'm not gonna say that there's never any black people anywhere that they don't be like, this is about race or this is about whatever or whatever, and it's not about that. It's like they just use it as a, you know what I'm saying, as a weapon. But what I'm saying is that I'm gonna err on the side of believing their experience, because that's what we're always told that we're being delusional, that we seeing something that's not, even though we know, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, when you keep going up for this review for your job, or like these little microaggressions, or like all of this stuff that be happening, just like you were saying, Miss Jovo, and but it's like, it's so subtle and it's so innocuous that when you say something about it, people are like, you're crazy. You're just making that up. You're making this race when it has nothing to do with that. I'm sure we've all had experiences like that. So all I'm saying is I'm going to err on the side of believe black people. Like, if they say it's some bullshit in the game, I'm going to say it's some bullshit in the game. I don't think that anything in their past history tells me that they're just these entitled, oh my God, I got to do, like, I've never seen them publicly.
I just feel like there's no way to satisfy. There's no way to satisfy people, because if she wins next year, then it's going to be, oh, they only gave it to her because Jay-Z said something.
But I think but I think where you also get messed up at too, she only played the snippet. He didn't only just allude to Beyonce. He pointed her out because, of course, that's his wife. So he was going to say that. He was talking about the fact that
he made a lot of allegations.
He was talking about the fact that he felt like SZA should have won over Taylor Swift this year. So he was taking up for a lot of black artists. It wasn't just Beyonce. So it's not about like, oh, give her the award next year or whatever. Of course, because he said that and made that statement, I feel like if he was going to make a statement, of course he's going to call out his wife, but that wasn't even the core of what he was saying. He was taking up for everybody. He said he was talking about how when he set out the Grammys that time when DMX had those 2 albums and didn't even get nominated.
Right, because he even said that he shouldn't have won one year.
Jay-Z won, but he set it out to boycott because DMX did not even get nominated because he felt DMX was snubbed from the 2 albums, and that's absolutely true. Like, how DMX didn't get in there? How DMX
is all opinionated and subjective? Then how are y'all saying it definitively? Like, oh, DMX should have got this, or
it's subjective because
it's
of
all
who's
subjective.
Voting. It's subjective because of who's voting. So if the people that's voting, they don't have the certain, they need to have a certain criteria. But since because
it's subjective, just
like
because
this is the criteria though. Just because they don't like the music that
what's the color of the voters? Do you know who the voters are?
What?
Do you know who the voters are?
All black. Then we need to go to BET. If we're gonna be sitting up here saying, "Oh, they need to be more black, more inclusive," we need to go back to BET.
No, we're not just saying that it. No, we're not saying that it just needs to be more black. What I'm saying is the way that black art gets devalued anyway. Even though black art influences everything else, when it comes from a black person, it gets devalued, and there's nothing wrong with calling it
celebrated. Right.
Remember, I remember the Grammys. I remember
it's not owned by black people. I don't know why we keep saying that. BET is owned by black people.
Fair enough. I remember, but the BET awards are our awards, whatever. They don't even go to them.
No,
so you can't go to the white folks awards and then try and be like, where all the black people at?
BET is also white folks awards.
At the one that you be skipping every year.
That's what you said. No,
but hold on. But this is the point.
The whole point of being pigeonholed into being right. Like what I'm saying is that's just like me.
You cannot skip Black History Month.
But this is the point that she's making. This is the point she's making. Why do we think? But this is the point.
First of all, that's not even Black History.
You know what I'm saying? If you're skipping the Black Award show, then you can't go to the White Award show.
Right.
Now you're missing my point.
Right. That's the point. That's the point. Why is the Grammys labeled a white award show? How did we just make that a white award show?
That's the reality.
No. Why did?
Come on now.
If it's everybody being nominated,
but it's not
why?
Everybody.
How did it become a white award show?
It's really not everybody.
Do y'all know who? Do y'all know who the father of rock and roll was?
Elvis. Goddamn it!
No. Get Chuck Berry. And what nationality is Chuck Berry?
Yeah, he's black.
A Negro.
He is not only just black. Chuck Berry is African American and Cherokee Indian. So let me take y'all down here come the old Jovo.
She about to give us a black history lesson. Go ahead, Jovo.
The history.
Happy Black History Month.
I can't remember what movie it was, but the guy that played in the original Godfather, was it Marlon Brando, something like that? Yeah.
The original Godfather. How old you?
The original. It's my favorite movie. I've seen it like 64 times.
You're not talking about the one Al Pacino?
No. Yes. Yeah. 1, 2, and 3. But I'm talking about the first one. The one who played his father in the first one. Okay. There was a movie that he was in during the Oscars. I want to say it was in the late 60s, early 70s that portrayed Native Americans. Well, to speak to Kennon's point, when he accepted his reward, he brought on to accept his reward a real life, like I want to say she was Cherokee Indian woman to come on stage and accept the award with him. I think he got Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor or something like that. And I might be off, but y'all Google it when y'all get a chance. But people in the crowds, including the people who were on staff at the Oscars, were heckling him for bringing this woman on stage. And the point he was trying to make was, this is becoming more than just the Anglo-Saxon white community situation. Like we're inviting more people of color in movies. You know, by that time, Sidney Poitier had put out so many movies that were just phenomenal. Yeah, I think at that time, maybe he had been nominated, but hadn't won an Oscar or hadn't won this. I'm not sure. But he brought that lady on the stage to prove a point that, hey, like y'all want to talk about these narratives, but y'all don't want to use Native Americans in the movie. Okay. Now, Fast forward to 1989, 88 to the Grammys.
I'm 6
Will
years
Smith,
old.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, they boycotted the Grammys just for this reason, because they knew the experience of the people who, this whole, I guess the board or whoever comes up with these nominations, and just wanted, to put them in this category or this box. Don't y'all understand that, like, people like MTV, VH1, that MTV, that when they first came on, Whitney Houston had the #1 song in the country, and they refused to play her video on television. Why? They couldn't come out and say the real reason, and the real reason was this: because they black. That's not our music. That's not what we're used to. Same thing with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince with their nomination. That's not our music. That's what we're not used to. So I get a little bit of what Jay-Z is saying. It's not only speaking to color, but it's also speaking to artistry. Because what y'all not going to do is blast TikTok on every station across the country, make all these songs popular on TikTok, but then come to the Grammys or the Oscars and then not give the artists their due. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
because
like,
the Grammys is not a white show. We only call it a white
It's
show
supposed to be a show of artistry.
We forget that it's not like presidency. We're not voting. It's more so a lot like, lobbying. You have to send care packages. Your agent has to petition for you to get on a nomination. It's not just as simple as, we're plugging the numbers.
Politics. It's politics.
Exactly. So sitting up here talking about, the numbers don't add up. You and I both know it ain't just about no damn numbers. It's about who's going to sit down with who
so
at
why
dinner.
The artistry is not adding up. The artistry is not adding up. Hip hop has come too popular to them, and they scared. Like, the majority of the music that's on TikTok, the majority of the music that is on social media, period, has some type of hip hop, R&B, or people of color, if you will, kind of influence. And listen, have y'all ever heard Adele sing? Do you know in places like London and England and Japan how big R&B is? Do you know how big it is over there? Do you know how humongous it is? But I'm not even talking about color. So I'm talking about playing out artistry. Like, rock and roll and country music are not in the head anymore.
But I'm also talking about how they automatically put Black artists into categories and genres that they don't even belong in just because they're Black. So you can't say that has nothing to do with race. Like, a Black artist can make a pop song and they'll put it in R&B, even though it's not sonically an R&B song.
Which goes back to my statement about politics.
Okay. But
that don't make it right.
Hold on, wait a minute. But this
then start another award show. Ain't nobody watching in the first place.
Another award show.
Ain't nobody watching the award shows.
But this is what I was about to ask you, Raven.
Nobody give a damn.
Why is it that you want to acknowledge
everything?
But why can everything else be a factor, but race cannot be a factor? Like, everything else can, but race.
I never said race was not a factor. I don't know why I never said that. It never came
out. So what I'm saying is what is the problem with calling out the racial aspect of it? Like, why do we give so much pushback to each other when we're this is what I'm saying. It's like we do it to each other too. It's like we're so dismissive, like, oh no, well, we don't need to say that. And it's like, why not? Like why can't we say that? What's the problem?
Right.
No black person nobody could say that either. I never said any of that.
How the fuck is a black person being greedy?
You can't get on stage at a predominantly white boys event.
Out of here.
Nobody said that. Oh, I didn't say that.
That's you. I'm just talking about the people that's been saying that they're being greedy. Like, you can't call a black person being greedy for thinking they supposed to get some shit that they deserve. Like, this greedy? Man, where our fucking 40 acres and mule that goddamn, what the fuck?
Now we're conflating two different kind of issues.
Art again is subjective.
It's subjective. We cannot definitively say, oh, all our black artists deserve these awards. Just like I said about
all of them. Just
Beyonce.
We just talking about Beyonce.
What? I said SZA earlier. Y'all was like, we talking about all these black folks. Whatever. My point
is, Beyonce's
supposed to get my statement. Let me finish my statement, please, Hills, please. My point is, both of y'all. God, leave, both of y'all. Please. I would take more, I don't know, credibility in what he said if they didn't like openly skip the black award show.
Black award show.
Okay, they show up at the NAACP award show. Whatever. If they showed up in droves to the NAACP awards,
man, I wouldn't care if they didn't
fair. No.
I wouldn't even care if they wasn't
y'all don't
black.
even want to support. Y'all don't even want to support. They have been talking about Beyonce not coming.
A black artist.
They have been talking about Beyonce.
Don't we have black
Jesus Christ? We have been talking about Beyonce not going to the BET Awards or whatever for a while. I remember making a joke about how she didn't go because they said it was too, Jesus.
The EBC
I remember them.
The hell?
I remember them saying
y'all want Beyonce to go to the BET Awards with Krishan Rock. Y'all want Beyonce to be on the red carpet with Krishan Rock.
Right, goddamn. You know the BET Awards be getting ratchet as fuck, man.
Know your rules.
Fucking got on the BET. Like,
no. Look.